So what we did for him was we actually raised all the invoices for the 3 months. And when we took a look at the accounts, because it wasn't done also, it was a bit messy at that point in time. When we did do it up, we realized that actually he had almost no money. Yes, it was that bad. Okay, because it's not that the customers were bad, but it's because invoices were not raised. But I must tell you, actually, he suffered quite a bit at that point in time, because the business almost came to a grinding halt. Okay, because there's not enough cash. So the biggest consequence for this was that actually all 8 of his staff, they were so stressed out because they knew the numbers and they knew that the debtors were big and 3 months of invoices has not been paid. They all decided to leave.
All 8 employees?
All 8 staff. All left. All resigned.
So only himself?
Left with him alone.
Building an SME is never smooth. Growth is hard, challenges are constant, and bad advice can set you back. Hi, my name is Khadijah from Accounting Superhero. As a management support executive in this company, my role is to assist the company's management and directors in the stewardship of this company. Every week, I book a one-to-one mentoring with my boss, Mr. Faz, so that I can perform better in my role. Join me as I go through a range of topics relevant with SME business owners like yourself who are keen to grow your business and ascend to the next level. Before I start, I just want to share that whatever is being shared here is based on real advice and experience from a professional chartered accountant for more than 20 years of industry experience. Mr. Faz is a no bullshit kind of person. Are you ready? Let's go!
Hi, Mr. Faz.
Hi, Khadijah. How are you?
Hi, good. How about you?
Okay, Alhamdulillah, all good.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. So, basically, the reason I'm meeting you right now is because I have heard some of our clients are facing issues to collect payment from their customers. So, this is what we also discussed during management meeting of our company. So, I believe this is somewhat a common challenge for their businesses. So, maybe do you know like how the business owners can prevent overdue payments from getting out of control? So I believe the viewers is interested in this topic, and I would like to share the topic with them today. Yeah.
Okay, cool. No worries. I think debtors. Maybe let's quickly define some things first. Debtors are basically people who owe you money. Okay. So why they owe you money is because you have done some service for them, or you have actually sold some things to them, right? Delivered, but they have not paid. So why does this happen? Okay. It happens because you do not collect cash. So if you collected cash for your service or for your goods, right, there's no debtors. The moment you deliver or the moment you fulfill the service, you get cash and you're done. So this happens because you give them credit. Credit means you tell them, okay, look, because I want to have a good relationship with you, I'll let you pay within, say, 14 days or 30 days or something. So that's a credit term, and because of that, they can pay you later. However, okay, it's more often than not, people kind of, basically they kind of stretch the payment terms. So they sometimes pay beyond the limits, beyond 30 days, beyond 14 days. And this can cause havoc to your company because you'll be faced with a situation where you don't have enough cash resources available. So if it's just 1 or 2 invoices or 1 or 2 customers, it's fine. But we all want to have a big business. If you have many customers, many invoices, so what happens when there's a lot of such payments not yet collected, right? So I think that's the crux of the issue here. So now that you understand it, let's maybe look at why our debtors can increase. Okay, so usually the common reasons why debtors can increase is because the customers themselves that you have, they could be having some cash flow issues. So they can't pay you on time.
Basically, it's an internal issue lah.
Yes. So they could be faced with some challenge. You know, they don't have enough cash resources. They've taken our service or they collected our goods, but they have not actually have enough resources to pay us. So their problem now becomes,
Our
our
problem.
problem, right? Okay, that's if it's from them. And
Yeah.
another thing is, it could be because on our side, we are supposed to make sure we enforce the policy of say it's 14 days or say it's 30 days. We are supposed to be pushing them to pay us within this period. Okay, but maybe we don't have sufficient credit control policies in place. There's no one that we can spare to call them, or we don't send automatic reminders or something. So that could also be a situation, right? So we don't have someone to actually look into
Yeah, take care
chasing.
into all of these things lah.
Yes, correct. Another reason could be because when we give them the 14 days credit or 30 days credit, or maybe even longer than that, we give them out of courtesy. Okay, but it wasn't a financially sound decision. So meaning we should have actually looked at the client first, determine whether are they a good fit for our business that they can actually pay us. So this is something that we should do first. Check out the background and all that. Do a proper credit rating, and once we know that we are comfortable to deal with them, then we give them a certain maybe 14 days first. Say 6 months along the line, 9 months along the line, they have been fulfilling nicely, then you can extend it to 30 days. So it should be a proper credit control policy in place lah. So this is something that I think small businesses lack as well.
Yeah, it's actually like by stages lah, 7, 14 days.
Correct.
And then on to the 30 or 40 days.
Correct.
Can't be just like 30 or 40 days.
Some people do that, but again, it's out of courtesy lah. So it's like,
understand.
I want your business, so I just give you 30 days. But it may not be a good decision lah.
Yeah, because 30 or 40 days like seem too long, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say anything above 30 is a bit scary lah. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, and then there could also be a situation where, like I said just now, sometimes they know that they're given 14 days or 30 days, but they stretch it themselves. So because you also never push them, right? So they think, okay, never mind, I'll just push it a bit and see how. No? So that is their own leniency. They give themselves leniency. And this could prove a problem, actually. Right?
Okay, basically, Mr. Faz, can I know like how does these late payments affect the client's businesses?
Sure. So I think the biggest impact is it really affects cash flow. So when debtors pay us late, right, we don't have enough cash to keep running in the business. So I always mention this in some of my classes that cash is like the blood in our body. So if like the body is our company, right, we need the blood to move everywhere with oxygen, right? So cash is what goes around. This in the blood, it has to move. So when we don't have enough cash, the company will have a failure lah.
Yeah.
Definitely. So it could lead to cash flow problems. It could lead to a certain point in which you don't have enough to make payment for your liabilities, like your every month commitments. And then because of this, right, not just it affects you in the short term that you cannot pay all these things, but you don't have any access to take advantage of any opportunities that could be. So in business, sometimes opportunities arise suddenly. So you need to have cash, standby a little bit, right? We call this working capital for us to go and take advantage of whatever is in the market at that point in time.
Yeah. Basically, the internal issues of the companies would be bigger lah.
Yep. Definitely.
So basically, I understand the causes of late payments and the impacts that it gives to the clients' businesses lah. But what if the clients can't pay their expenses because their customers haven't paid them yet? Like, what are the steps the businesses that can take to avoid these problems from getting worse?
Okay, understand. So what you're asking is they may be facing this situation. Okay. What can they do to prevent this from becoming a worse off situation?
Yeah.
Okay, can. So I think there's a few things that can be done. First and foremost, let's talk about policy lah. Policy first. So I think in terms of policy, every company, no matter how big or small you are, you need to have very simple and clear payment policies. Okay, and it must be firm. Like for example, in your invoice or in the agreement that you sign with your customer, you must state that payment terms is net how many days? 7 days, 15 days, 30 days. It must be clearly mentioned on there. And then if there are any penalties that you intend to impose for late payments, you should also indicate there as well. In the invoice, in the agreement, must be clearly stated. So you pay us beyond 7 days, we'll impose you a percentage penalty.
So there is clarity in the invoice lah.
Yes.
So basically, like the company's client can't really like say much or twist the words because the clause are state there in the invoice, right?
Yes, correct. It clears any ambiguity lah. So it's stated down there, you can enforce it, right? So whether you enforce it or not is a different story, but at least it's there. If you want to enforce it, you can. Okay. And another thing that you can do is within this ambit of payment terms, is to ask for a certain amount as a deposit. So this is especially important for service businesses. So when you want to actually serve the customer, they agree with your fees, everything. Do a quote, send them a quote first, ask them to pay a certain percentage, like 50% pay up first.
50% deposit lah.
Yes,
That's what it costs, right?
correct.
Yeah.
And it must also be indicated that the moment you pay us a deposit, we will commence the work.
Yeah.
This deposit is not refundable. Okay, you must protect yourself lah.
Yeah, so basically if they don't pay like 30 to 45 days, the deposit will be burned lah.
Yes, it's
Sort
already
of,
absorbed.
yeah, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so it's not refundable at all lah. Because in all fairness, you have done the work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So collect some upfront deposits lah. If you are actually delivering goods, say you bake your own cookies and you want to deliver it to some cafes or something, right? So again, same thing. You deliver, you know how much you're gonna sell it for. In that delivery order, you indicate this is how much you're delivering. You need to collect a certain amount as a deposit. Okay, and when you deliver, make sure you collect a deposit on the spot. So 30%, 40%, fine.
Basically, it's a security like for us lah, for the clients.
True. And of course, if in the event that if your deposit can cover say 70% of your actual cost, okay, or 100% of your cost, that would be ideal lah. Okay, because obviously when you sell something, you have to make a margin lah kan.
Yeah, of course.
And I would say margin for like example cookies is usually double or 2.5. So if you can cover 50%, you have covered your cost. That's safe lah. That's a good way of business.
So they just have to pay like the other 50% is just for the services.
Oh no. Upon their selling of the cookies.
Okay.
So the cafe
Understand.
sells it fully ready, then they will pay you the 50%.
I see.
Okay. Next thing that you can do is to do a proper credit check. Proper credit check means before you offer them that 7 days credit or 30 days credit or something, right? Do some checks on them first to see whether this is a company that you want to do business with, that you're comfortable. So things like asking for their accounts, latest management accounts, the last year's financial statements, ask for their Accra business profile. All of these things are important. Okay. If you're in Malaysia, again, same accounts, ask for their SSM profile, look through it, see who's inside the company. And if you can go one step further, like whoever's in the company, do a search on it as well. See whether there's any known issues with these persons. Okay, so as long as there's no known issues, then you should be okay lah. And if the accounts are done, the figures are fine, you can see like their cash at bank is good or something. If you want to go further, you want to even ask for last 3 months bank statements, it's also your right actually. Okay, because from there you can see whether the client has money. Their rolling of funds is enough. Then you can offer them credit.
What if they refuse to give the bank statements?
Then you can decide whether you want to deal with them or not.
Okay.
Yeah, this is put it that way because this is called financial prudence, right? You need to protect your own business. So in the event that if it means not dealing with other companies, which is a bit doubtful or worrying, then it's good business sense to do so lah. And then it's very important to do one more step, which is, for example, if the client has already passed the credit verification check that you have done, and you are okay to give them credit, right? You must set a clear credit limit. Say, for example, if they want to order from you every time $1,000 worth of cookies, for example. So that $1,000 worth of cookies is a monthly sale. Your credit limit might be say 2,000. So they can order more than that, up to 2,000 without any issues. But above 2,000, they need to pay off the full amount which they owe before you can give them a new order. This is like a stopgap measure, right?
Stopgap measure.
Yes, just in case, because if not, you'll be like, okay, I want to order some, and you keep sending. Then, my God, you already sold 50,000 from them. then suddenly they say, hey, look, we don't have the money, we can't pay you. So you'll be in a difficult
in a
situation.
deep trouble lah.
Yeah. Okay, so a credit limit is important. And then sometimes if the transaction is big, it's a huge amount. Say for example, you normally have been selling your cookies to shops. So now suddenly someone who's actually going to be running an expo, say for Hari Raya, they say, can I make a huge order from you? Total order is 300,000. So that's a lot, right? Normally you sell in batches of 1,000. 300,000 is a huge order. So what you need to do is, aside from the credit checks, aside from all these things, you might need to ask for a personal and or a business guarantee.
What does that mean?
Okay, that means the company that he's ordering from through, and also the person behind the company gives a guarantee that no matter what, we will pay you. Yeah. So it's a financial guarantee lah. So this is a legal document which you can do, getting them to sign it and say that no matter what, we will pay you. So you have lesser worry about the 300,000.
Yeah, and then there's like a black and white lah.
Yes. So what happens if something goes wrong? Then you need to take legal action against them. For that, seek a lawyer. They will help you to do something about it lah. Yeah. Okay, so far?
Okay.
Awesome. Next, I think you can also improve your invoicing and follow-up process. So here, right, what I mean by invoicing and follow-up process is you need to know when you need to send invoices out. So say for example, you are running a service business, okay? So as I mentioned, do a quote, ask for a deposit, right? So the moment the job is done at 70% level, for example, the invoice should already be out. Okay, you don't have to wait until it's fully completed. Okay, just make sure that it's almost completed, invoices are prepared, and then say you need them to actually come and sign off something and all that, which is in the same context as for our company, right? So when we already send them a draft or something of the end product, we would have already raised the invoice. Then it's for them to go through, sign off everything, or meet with us to go through anything, and then they can sign off and close out the case. Okay, but the invoice will be out before they sign off.
Oh, basically we need to like prepare in advance lah.
Yes. So you need to make sure that on your side, the finance part is settled.
Yeah.
This area. And about reminding clients to pay, I think reminders are very, very important. So if you are not on an accounting system which has automatic reminders, I think it's good to use an accounting system like for us we use Xero. I think it's important to use something like that, where the moment your invoices are done, prepared, the system will keep sending reminders.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do it yourself, because doing it could be also another big
time
headache.
consuming.
Yes, exactly. But of course, I think a human interaction is important. Maybe every 10 days or so, give them a call, chat with them. Hi, how are you doing? You don't have to straight away, hi, where's my money? But make sure it's a human. It's a human follow up. It's a good interaction. How's your business doing? Is everything okay? Yeah, I haven't heard from you about this invoice. Can you please help me with it? We also need the payment on our side, something like that.
So then we email and we call lah.
Yes, correct. The email, let it be an automated thing lah, if possible. Another thing which I think is very important about invoicing and follow-up process, this is something I hope as many businesses take this advice, which is to make sure you have as many payment methods as possible. So don't just accept payment in one way because it's easy for you. Think for the customer. Prepare as many payment methods as possible. Now, there's going to be some people who, when I say this, they're going to say, oh my God, Faz cannot. If I accept credit card, there's going to be a card fee, 4%, 3%, blah, blah. So my advice is very simple. We want that amount which is owed to be paid to us. It's a cost to everything. So if we have to keep on chasing, calling, emailing and everything, right? One day, it's going to come out to that 4% cost. Okay, it's a question of how much effort you put in, right? So if you already know, okay, if the person pays by credit card, there's a 4% charge. But because it exists, that method of payment exists, they can pay you within 2 days. Isn't it better? You just pay that 4% and just collect it, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. But of course, decide in the company how you want to do this. Have as many options: bank transfer, credit card payment, neo-bank transfers like Wise, like Revolut card, all these options as much as possible. make it happen for you. I think that's really, really good to have.
Basically, like, I think nowadays, like, they use multiple options to pay, right? Like, they have credit cards, they have Wise, they have HitPay, and so on. So having these multiple options will make them easier to pay in that sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
So give them the benefit of choosing what's best for them. Right. On our side, we just make sure we collect them all. That's it.
Of course.
One more thing is to also consider platform payment methods. Like for example, I think you've heard this thing called A to Me, right? ATOME.
To me, the
Right?
installment plan.
Yeah, installment
Yeah,
plan.
yeah.
So I think there's a few options as well. So especially those of you who sell items online, I mean not service oriented, but there's a good, or there's an item that you're selling.
Yeah.
If you can actually go onto A2Me platform, Amazon repayments, and all that, that's all good actually.
Yeah, but I think to me is especially for retail, right?
Yes, for retail, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's good to have, because then you get the payment first. Then the customer will make sure that they pay the third party agent. So on your side, you're done.
You don't have to chase or anything, right?
Yes, exactly.
So they are dealing with Atomy and we don't have to do anything.
True.
Yeah, I think it's easier
Yep.
like that way.
I think that's the best. Last but not least, I think in terms of how to prevent this debtors issue from becoming worse, right, is what I mentioned just now, the human element, which is to engage with your customers. So this is something I really, really believe in, which is at the end of the day, we don't know what situation our customers are facing. Okay, we always assume that if we are okay, people are okay. Sometimes people do that, but I think it's best to assume the other way around. Always assume that if they have an issue with payment, then we do our best to make sure that we are there for them. We are there for them. We understand the situation. We see how we can help. I think it goes a long way, lah. Yeah. So a personal follow-up is very important. That if you can, instead of chasing for it, in that tone, I'm chasing you for this money. Instead of doing that, do a personal follow-up. Okay, call them directly, right, and ask them how's everything. Then among other things, this is a payment matter which I need to trouble you about. Is it okay? Like if you can do a certain payment first or something like that. This human thing, a friendly call, I think it helps speed up the process. At the same time, you can also do one other thing, which is just how we spoke about. If we use a certain payment method like credit card, there's a cost to it, right? Like a certain percentage, right? You can also offer a discount for early payment. So you tell them, friend, I'm giving you 30 days credit, but if you pay within the first 10 days, I'll give you a discount. Okay, so
Sort
that's
of like
reverse.
early bird in a discount.
Yes, correct. So it's a reverse psychology thing. So if you take 30 days to pay, you pay the full amount as usual. You pay after 30 days, there will be a late payment penalty. But instead, if you pay within the first 10 days, I will give you a 5% discount, something like that.
So this will like sort of encourage them to pay faster.
Yes, so it's an inducement lah, which I think is good, because then if they have the cash in advance, they have the amount. It is actually good for them to take advantage of the discount, right?
Reverse psychology.
Yes. Okay, and last but not least, I think if you know that a customer is struggling, and that they have issues, maybe do something early, right? Go and meet them, sit down with them, negotiate a payment plan. So instead of them coming back to you later on, you take the first step. So you tell them, look, okay, Khadija, example, Khadija, you owe me 2,000. Okay, I know you're going through some issues right now. No worries. Can you pay these 2,000 over 5 payments? For example, okay, that's $200 a month. You do 5 payments. Okay, and allow them to negotiate. Say they say 5 payments is a bit tough for me. It's really bad for me. Can we do 10 payments, for example? Okay, if you think 10 is fine, okay. If not, can we do 7? Something like that. Negotiate. Come to a good payment plan. Yeah. And then sign it, agree it. Yeah. Do something in writing, sign it off, and let's start getting paid.
This podcast has been brought to you by Accounting Superhero, your trusted partner for Zero and SME compliance in Singapore and Malaysia. Switch up to Accounting Superhero today. Basically, we need to always like have black and white, and also to always like prepare in advance lah
Yes.
for these things to happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
And think of a solution lah. Yeah, don't wait until the situation becomes worse lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can basically now I understand the step that can be taken to reduce these issues. But what if like the problem still persists and customers still don't want to pay? Right? They like insist, like they refuse to pay lah, but they don't like they don't talk to us like their problems, but they just don't want to pay. Let's just put that way. Yeah.
I understand. I think this is where you need to take a bit more serious approach lah. So serious approach, I mean, if you're already exhausted, the human element, you try your best to make sure that you do your best, right, to avoid it. Then I think it's important for you to first and foremost make sure that you have stronger reminders. So you might have to have like 3 formal emails, okay, or formal written letters. I would say emails are fine, but these are formal, and indicate down there that this is the invoices, or these are the invoices we are talking about. What's the total amount? You're late by how many days? If you do not pay us within the next 3 days, 10 days, 7 days, okay, we will have no choice but to escalate this matter by way of legal collection or something like that. So tell them of the consequence as well, okay, but always give them a certain period for them to respond. Then you send out. So you send maybe 3 reminders, and your last one marked as a final reminder. Okay, that should be good. Another thing you might want to do after that is to get help from collection agencies. So collection agencies. So there are companies which actually help with collecting debts, right? Debt collecting agencies, they're licensed, they know what to do, they know how best to get it done. Maybe talk to them, see if we can actually get help from them. You may also want to get help from a lawyer as well, get a legal firm to help with your collections. Meaning, if you were to ask a lawyer to do for just one of your receivables, right, it might cost a lot. So instead, get a lawyer to work with you on a retainer basis to help you manage all your debtors every month or every 3 months, for example. So they will see, okay, 3 months, these are all the outstanding. So I have to send out 3 letters or 4 letters or 5 letters. They will send out all 5 letters, and then they will charge you for it.
Rather than we like do one by one lah.
Correct. So it's like a whole list of debtors, and they will charge you based on the group. For example, one letter could be more pricey lah. So this is a group, maybe they will charge you lesser, right? So let them send out and ask your lawyers to receive the money on your behalf. So that party which owes you will then pay your lawyers. Your lawyers will pay you. It's a process, but at least you don't have to worry about it for now. Let them go and chase, right? Of course, there's cost to it, but at least it's out of your hands for a while in a sense. And then I think very importantly is to what we do in our company is we have this thing called a stop work order, SWO. So I think for all companies out there, this is very important to have. Meaning, if a customer is not paying, he's breached the value of transactions, meaning the credit that you're giving to them. Make sure your whole company knows not to make a further sale to them. So it's like a stop work order. So don't sell further, because if you sell further, your liability, your exposure towards bad debt is going to be increasing. Yeah.
So basically stop our service like totally until they pay lah.
Correct. And tell them, inform them. Please be informed, as of this moment, we have issued a stop work order on your company because of due to unpaid bills. And inform them that the last statement was sent to you was this amount, this date, and these are the list of all invoices. Please pay a certain amount, or please pay a certain percentage within the next how many days for us to resume work for you.
Always give like the buffer date, is it?
Yes.
Why is the like buffer date important? Like why must be like pay within 5 days, pay within 7 days? Like why is it important? Because we already give them like 30 to 45 days, right? So they still refuse to pay. So we send another letter, demand letter, stop work order, let's say, and then we give another buffer date. So why is this buffer date important? What are the guarantees that they will pay if we like issue the stop work order lah, in that sense?
Okay. So you see, if you were to go to court Okay, either like you go to court, you ask the judge to enforce or to come up with a judgment, telling this party to pay you now immediately or something like that. Before that can happen, the judge will need to see what you have done
Yeah,
to
all the
collect.
black and whites, all the documents.
Yes.
Okay.
So all these things are very important. So when the judge looks at all these things, right, they also need to look at another two more things, which is whether everything is there, it's complete and accurate. And number two is whether you have been reasonable. Okay, so it's important for you to deal with your customers in a very reasonable way. So if you keep writing to them, say this amount is due tomorrow, before the due date or the day itself, you are writing to them in a very unreasonable manner. Pay us now if I'm going to do this, you're going to do that. Then the judge will look at you as you are not a reasonable business or reasonable company that is
Reasonable debt
dealing with this.
collector. Yeah.
Yeah, so then it becomes that you are the one who is bullying the
Who is pushing
customer.
the
Yeah.
Okay.
So always be reasonable. Give a certain buffer period for them to react. When you send an email, you can assume that they will read it immediately. So give them some time. And in court, or rather in the legal process, what is very reasonable is 2 weeks. But sometimes for us, 2 weeks is too long. So maybe at the very least 7 days, it is okay. So give them time for them to reply lah.
Thank you for your detailed explanation, Mr. Faz. So basically, since there might still be issues on payment collection, even though steps have been taken, like are there any strategies that can be taken to prevent these issues from with future debts? Yeah.
Oh, actually, yes, and I can share with you from our own company perspective. Let me just share with you this lah. Number one, I think first and foremost, something which all of us business owners can do is to make sure that we have very good agreements prepared. So invoices must be done properly, and the basis for the invoice, the code, and everything must be leveraging on the right agreement. So if you remember, right, when we do a sales pitch to a client, right, we show them this, what we can do, blah blah blah, everything. They say, okay, yes, nice, send me a proposal, right? So we send them a proposal. And there is embedded a code inside. So it's actually a nice, like 20-page PDF document, which is a proposal telling about us a little bit. This is what we can do for you, and it's indicative of prices, everything very very clearly. And then we also have our super agreements, right? So this super agreement will give them first, because if they accept the proposal, they will sign the super agreement and they will accept our terms of service. So this part is very important. So I think all companies must have very good and strong agreements. Okay, these agreements will protect you in the event that you have this kind of things happen lah, right? So make sure your agreements are originating from you yourself, meaning this is how I want to run my business. You write simply, go and see a lawyer, get a good lawyer firm to sit down with you and go through with you the super agreement. I call it a super agreement lah. So it's an agreement all clients will sign when they deal with us. It actually encompasses all our business what do you call this, our business verticals. So if they do accounting only, then under this company. If they do if we do taxes for them, under our another company, but it's a super agreement, everything is covered. So that's one. Another thing that you can do is to change your method of sale from a normal buy and sell per transaction item to become a subscription model. Okay, so this is something that we have also done for our own accounting services, and I think it proved to be a very good pivot lah. So what we used to do was we used to actually quote clients for the job, right? So on this job, how much it's going to cost? Give a quote, they accept, and then that's it. Then I think in 2016 we pivoted to subscription models. So it has been almost 9 years, right? So what we do is we do recurring accounting for them every month, but we charge them a certain amount. Say it's $125 or $200, maybe some higher volume, $500, $600. It depends on volume lah. But this is the amount they need to pay every month, right? Then, but we look at the whole transaction, we look at the whole contract value per annum, how much for us to do the whole entire job. But it helps the client to pay monthly, an amount which is manageable.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near a one man count cost.
Smaller
So
lah.
yeah, very very much smaller.
Yeah.
So it fits their business model lah. So I think it's something that we can all do. Instead of subscription, if you think that doesn't work for you, maybe consider a prepayment model.
Prepayment.
Yes. So for example, say you are running a wedding service business. So one of our, say Amanda comes to you, say, "Hey Khadijah, I want to take up your bridal service." So you will then ask Amanda, "Okay Amanda, when is your intended solemnization date?" So they say, "Okay, it's this date, it's in 10 months time." Okay. So 10 months time, then you work out the details, everything, okay, total cost, venue, food, everything comes to 20,000. Okay. So what do? You tell her, okay, look, this is the agreement. We sign the agreement, this the quotation, everything is done. On this date, I will supply you with this hall, the food, everything, blah blah blah, $20,000. But this starting from this month, we got 10 months, right? Now you pay me, say, 5,000, and there's a balance of 15,000, which you will pay over 8 months or 7 months. Okay, so what happens there is you will collect this money upfront. 5,000 you put aside, put into a different bank account. This is client deposits. Do not spend the money.
Oh, do not spend the money.
Yeah, you as the vendor, do not spend the money. Put into a separate bank account, 5,000. Every month she will pay you 1,500 or something until the 7th month, completely fully paid into this bank account. 3 months buffer, just in case, before the actual solemnization date. So money is with you, right? Then before the day happens, then you take out the amount and you start paying your vendors so that this solemnization, this event is done nicely. Good. That's a prepayment model lah.
Understand.
I hope it's something which I think more businesses can do lah. It's just that there's an element of discipline lah.
Yeah. And trust also, right?
Yeah, so I say you have to put a separate bank account lah. Don't spend the money. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, like, to summarize, we need to manage these issues now so that it doesn't become worse. And then, like, we need to check our credits and done our invoicing properly. Like, state the proper clause in the invoice, and then have black and white documents so that it's clear. And then basically, to always like prepare in advance lah. Okay, I understand, Mr. Faz. Thank you so much for your detailed
Most welcome,
explanation.
Khadijah. Most welcome.
So based on your experience in business, right, is there any client case or real life stories shareable that we can take lessons from the topic that we are discussing here?
Can. So I think this is the part where you and Humara want me to tell some horror stories, right?
Yeah, horror
Okay,
story.
can. I will spill the deal for you, no problem. So Ken, I think I got one or two stories. I think I got one particular one I can share. Okay, we have this one client, very nice gentleman, very very expert in what he does lah. Superb guy, love him to bits. So this client of ours, when he first came to us, he had a chronic problem with debtors. Okay, and he had around 8 employees in Singapore, and his business was around 80,000, 60,000 per month. Very healthy, good clients as well. But what happened was, along the way, he was so busy being the guy who runs operations. He's busy making sure that the jobs are being done properly, delivered to clients, being the front-facing guy. What happened was, invoices were raised late. So when he came to me, it's not so much to do accounts, no. So the thing why he said was, "Fast, I haven't raised 3 months worth of invoices." Yeah.
3 months.
3 months. I've been doing work for free. I know you're gonna think I'm crazy, but that's exactly what's going on. So yeah, so these kind of things do happen, especially when you're too busy. So what we did for him was we actually raised all the invoices for the 3 months. And when we took a look at the accounts, because it wasn't done also, it was a bit messy at that point in time. When we did do it up, we realized that actually he had almost no money. Yes, it was that bad. Okay, because it's not that the customers were bad, but it's because invoices were not raised. Okay, and then if you just imagine after 3 months of not raising invoice, then suddenly now you raise invoice,
Yeah,
the customer will take more time to go and pay, right?
of course.
Yeah. So then comes us helping him to negotiate with the clients, our customers, asking them to please, pay a bit first or something, that kind of stuff. Then at least some money comes in.
Correct.
But I must tell you, actually, he suffered quite a bit at that point in time because the business almost came to a grinding halt, okay, because there's not enough cash. The biggest consequence for this was that actually all 8 of his staff, they were so stressed out because they knew the numbers and they knew that the debtors were big and 3 months of invoices has not been paid.
Yeah.
They all decided to leave.
All 8 employees.
All 8 staff, all left, all resigned.
So only himself.
Left with him alone.
Wow.
So he had to
That's
rebuild
crazy.
everything. Yeah. So can you believe it? At that point in time, when suddenly everybody left, of course you also have to make final payments and everything, right? So it was a huge skirmish. Getting all debtors to pay up quickly, make sure there's enough money in the bank account, pay all the stuff and everything. But it was painful for him because he has to rebuild the company. That's number one. And number two, the emotional damage lah, in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because literally people actually walk out from you. It was really painful lah. And I could have really empathize with him actually. So that's the horror tale I have for you lah. So maybe to sum up, for this matter about debtors, don't wait for it to become a big problem lah.
Yeah.
Always look at what is the total amount which is owed to you. Look at individual customers as well. How many percentage of this are a problem compared to your whole total debtors. Do not let things actually go on further.
Yeah, become worse. Then
Yes.
only you need to think about it.
Yes, because you will definitely suffer. Know your customers well. You have to be strict and be professional at the same time. So as I mentioned, being human is important, to give them a call and everything. But at the same time, always remember that you are also running a business. You need money to come in. So if you need to be a bit strict, you might have to do that lah, kan? But at the same time, be professional. Don't go crazy or something lah. I think that's cash is king. Cash is king. If it's possible to actually transact in cash, do so, or at the very least collect deposits first. Okay. And as I mentioned about sending reminders and everything, use technology lah to do this. So as I mentioned about accounting software and systems, use something that can help you send all these reminders without you having to do the work. Yeah.
If we can automate the email reminders, then we can do that.
Yes.
But we still need to do the human interaction, which is call them lah.
Correct. And maybe last but not least, Khadija, is to do this thing which I think is very important, which is don't wait for when you feel like it, then you look at your financial reports.
Always look at it.
Always look at it. So at the very least, have a chat with your accountant every month. Look at the reports, look at your debtors and everything. See where you are at. So the more often you look at it, hopefully the more interested and the more serious you will be in terms of making sure your numbers are good. So don't wait for something to happen before you look at it lah. Make it a habit lah. Yeah.
Understand. Thank you,
Yep,
Mr. Bas.
that's what I have for you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Bas, for your detailed explanation. Appreciate so much.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you enjoy this episode? If you do enjoy this episode, would like to get to know more about this episode, do look for our bonus freebie, checklist on this topic, and download from FTA website. In the next episode, we uncover another interesting topic. Business growth start with funding. What are your options? See you on the next episode. Bye.